Hey everyone, it's Coach K. Today we're going to be working on quadrilaterals, and we're going to be using application for it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a parallelogram. So if we look at it, it says what's the angle of each measure. Remember, a parallelogram has opposite sides are parallel and opposite sides are congruent. So I have parallel sides and I have congruent sides. So if I think about it, these two angles, angle A and angle B, are supplementary because they're same side interior angles. So if I think about it, here's my parallel lines, here's my transversal. These two on the inside right there and there are add up to 180 degrees. So right here I have these two right here. So I have x plus 90 equals 180 degrees. Subtract 90, x equals 90. So this angle right here is 90 degrees. All right, let's look at number 2. So this is an isosceles trapezoid. Isosceles means that two sides are the same. And we're trying to figure out what are all the angles. So I know base angles are the same, so that's 50. So these two are the same. I also know that these two will be the same. So now I got to figure out those two angles. So angle A and angle B add up to 180 degrees because it is a parallelogram. So that means that I have 50 plus x equals 180. Minus 50 minus 50, that gives me 130. So x equals 130. So this interior angle right here is 130. And so is this one. So let's look at this parallelogram. Okay, so using the same thing, opposite sides are parallel. So I'm going to look and say, okay, these two angles right here, A and B, add up to 180 degrees. So I have 4x plus 5 equals 180. So I have 5x plus 5 equals 180. So I'm going to subtract 5 on each side. I have 5x equals 175. I'm going to divide by 5. So x equals 35. So now let's substitute back in. So when we substitute back in, this right here would be 35 plus 5, which is 40. And then I have 4 times 35. That gives me 140. Remember that on parallelograms, opposite angles are congruent. So this angle and this angle are the same. So this is also 40. This angle right here and this angle right here are the same. So that is also 140. All right. All right, so the next part, it says circle all possible classifications for each shape. So when I look at this real quick, I know for sure it is 1, 2, 3, 4-sided figure. I know for sure it's a polygon. Is it a parallelogram? No, it's not. Not opposite sides are parallel. So because it's not a parallelogram, I can actually take off rectangle, square, and rhombus. Is there a trapezoid? One characteristic of a trapezoid is opposite sides are parallel. One set. No. Is it a kite? Nope, it is not a kite. So the most specific and the only classification is a quadrilateral. So let's look at this one right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So I know it is a quadrilateral. Is it a parallelogram? Opposite sides are congruent, so that means opposite sides are also going to be parallel. So yes, it is a parallelogram. Is it a rectangle? Characteristics for a rectangle are opposite sides are congruent and opposite sides are parallel. All angles are 90 degrees. So yes, it is a rectangle. A square. Opposite sides are all sides are congruent. It has a 90-degree angle. Yes. Is it a rhombus? Nope, because that's a slanted square, a drunk square. Trapezoid? Nope, has 2 sets of parallel sides. Kite? No. So if I was looking at this right here, these are all the different ones that it can be. The one that is the most specific is the square. All right, so let's look at this one right here. How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is a quadrilateral. So opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent. Rectangle has 90-degree angle, so we can take that one off. Square, we can take that one off because it doesn't have a 90-degree angle. Rhombus, all sides are congruent, so yes. We can take out kite and trapezoid. Now, which one is the most specific? The most specific is a rhombus. Okay. What is the most specific? That's what we just got done doing. So if I look at this one right here, I know it's a quadrilateral. Let's go back and look at the list up there. Is it a parallelogram? Yes, it is a parallelogram. And is it a rectangle? Nope, it's not a rectangle. Is it a square? No, it's not a square. Is it a rhombus? Nope, it's not a rhombus. Trapezoid kite? So the most specific one is a parallelogram. All right, so let's look at this one right here. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. It is a quadrilateral. It is a trapezoid. And it has two sides congruent, so it means it's an isosceles trapezoid. It's the most specific. All right, so let's talk about mid-segments of an isosceles trapezoid. To make it the mid-segment, that means that D is the midpoint of line AE. So those two are the same. F is the same. FL is the same as FR. And so since it's isosceles, that means that both of them, all of those are going to be exactly the same. So we have base 1, we have base 2, and we have the mid-segment. So the formula you're going to use is the mid-segment equals base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 to figure out that mid-segment. So right here, it says base 1 is 12 plus base 2, which is 6, and then divided by 2 to figure out what the D to F going to be. So right here, I have 18 divided by 2, which is 9. D to E, or D to F is 14. So I'm still using it. So I have 14 right here. Let's do a different color. Whoops. Let's go 14 right here. And then I have A to L is 21. So then I have 14 equals X plus 21 divided by 2. So you can multiply both sides by 2. That cancels out on this side. And that gives you 28 equals X plus 21. So I'm going to subtract 21 on both sides. Gives you 7. So 7 is my E to R. So let's do the next one. I'm going to erase all that, maybe. And then I have E to R is 10. And then it says A to L is 22. And D to F is X plus 3. So I have X plus 3 equals 22 plus 10 divided by 2. So if I add those two together, that gives me 32. Half of 32 is 16 equals X plus 3. Subtract 3, X equals 13. All right, so right here, 3 vertices of the trapezoid are as followed. What is the coordinate for point R? Okay, so let's plot those points. I have a negative 3, positive 4, 4, and that is S. And then I have 6, positive 4, that's 4. And then I have negative 1, 0. So that would be A. So we got to figure out what, because it says it's an trapezoid, an isosceles trapezoid. So I know that these So I have to figure out a line for the bottom down there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2. So that would be my new point right there. 2, 3, 4. So it'd be 0, 4 to make my isosceles trapezoid. Alrighty, only a couple more problems. Right here we have a rhombus. What do we know about a rhombus? Opposite sides are congruent, opposite sides are parallel, all sides are parallel and congruent, And then we know that's a 90-degree angle. We also know that these right here are an angle bisector. All right, so let's see. E is 5x. What is the value of x? So we have 5x minus 1t equals 90. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides. That gives me 110 divided by 5. X equals 22. All right, last problem. What's the value of angle A? So we need to find this angle right here. If we remember, this whole angle and this whole angle are exactly the same in a kite. So then what we're going to do is how many degrees are in the inside of a polygon? It's a four-sided figure. So remember n minus 2 times 180. So I have 4 minus 2. That gives you 2 times 180. So my total is 360. So right here I have 78 plus x plus 36 equals 360. All right, so combine like terms. So it gives me 2x equals or plus 114. I'm going to subtract 114 on both sides. That's a 1. And that gives me 246. I'm going to divide by 2 because I only want one of the angles. And that gives me 132 or 23. So angle A equals 123. All right, that's all for today, folks. Have a great day.